page 60.
All right.
The
Yep.
first requirement is that we can
Hold on one
that we
second, Vlad. So it's the last paragraph on page 60, I
yeah,
th in this edition anyway,
yeah.
in how it works. Yeah. All right.
Okay. The first requirement is that we be convinced that any life run on self-will will hardly be a success. On that basis, we are almost always in collision with something or somebody, even though our motives are good. Most people try to live by self-propulsion. Each person is like an actor who wants to run the whole show, is forever trying to arrange the lights, the belly, the scenery, and the rest of the place in his own way. If his arrangements would only stay put, if only people would do as he wished, the show would be great. Everybody, including himself, would be pleased. Life would be wonderful. In trying to make these arrangements, our actor may sometimes be quite virtuous. He may be kind, considerate, patient, generous, even modest and self-sacrificing. On the other hand, he may be mean, egoistical, selfish, and dishonest. But with most humans, he is most likely to have varied traits. What usually happens? The show doesn't come off very well. He begins to think life doesn't treat him right. He decided to exert himself more. He becomes, on the next occasion, still more demanding or gracious, as the case may be. Still, the play doesn't suit him. Admitting he may be somewhat at fault, he is sure that other people are more to blame. He becomes angry, indignant, self-pitying. What is his basic trouble? He is not really a self-seeker. Is he not really a self-seeker even when trying to be kind? Is he not a victim of the delusion that he can wrest satisfaction and happiness out of this world if he only manages well? It is not evident to all Is it not evident to all the rest of the players that these are the things he wants? And do not his actions make each of them wish to retaliate, snatching all they can get out of the show? Is he not, even in his best moments, a producer of confusion rather than harmony? Our actor is self centered, egocentric, as people like to call it nowadays. He is like the retired businessman who lolls in the Florida sunshine in the winter, complaining of the sad state of the nation, the minister who over sighs over his sins, of the sins of the 20th century, politicians and reformers who are sure all would be uh, reformers who are sure all would be utopia if the rest of the world would only behave. The outlaw safe cracker who thinks society has wronged him, and the alcoholic who has lost all and is locked up. Whatever our protestations, are not most of us concerned with ourselves, our resentments, or our self-pity.
Yes. I'm going to read the next paragraph,
Okay,
which is selfishness, self-centeredness, that we think is the root of our troubles. So, driven by 100 forms of fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, and self-pity, we step on the toes of our fellows and they retaliate. Sometimes they hurt us, seemingly without provocation, but we invariably find that at some time in the past, we had made decisions based on self, which later placed us in a position to be hurt. Yeah. So this is the whole theme in a way of these our meetings here, which is to see uh, to read the book perhaps in a different way. And that way is Self is what has defeated us, and self is foreign to us. Yeah, almost as if you have been defeated by a chronic flu, and the flu has been taken to be us. So because the flu has such different characteristics than our usual condition, we can notice it when it takes us over. And for those 5 or 8 or 10 days, we're under the influence of a flu. Things look darker usually. Your relationship gets suspect. Tons of stuff starts coming up because you're looking through the lens of the flu. Now, to us, this parasitical movement of alcoholism is like a long-term flu. And after a while, being had by this flu, you start taking the flu's manifestations and characteristics as yours. Yes. And when that starts, when you land there, you are now in the bondage of self, basically, because you're living as if you're a self. Yep. They use the term actor here, which they're trying to describe one actor because there's been millions of us who have acted the same way. Yeah. So they talk about one actor in these 4 paragraphs, but that one actor represents millions of us. Yeah. So Heather acts out in a certain way, Paul acts out in a certain way, but those ways are all connective. They're all connected. Yeah. They may have the flower may be different, but where it grows and how it blooms is the same. Yes. And so this idea of the defeat is a common condition, and part of the defeat is a feeling of being terminally unique. Yes. So this terminal uniqueness hides the commonality of the disease. So we think no one thinks the way we think, and no one feels the way we feel, no one acts the way we act. And then you go to meetings, and that understanding is blown out of the water because a lot of people in that meeting seem to have your thoughts and your feelings and your reactions to life. So I hope uh, by holding these meetings, we can we're not bringing the light, we're just angling it, yeah, to so that the light can see something in a different way. Uh, because I don't, uh, it became obvious to me that if I don't see this, I'm looking from it, yeah. And in that case, I'm inevitably caught in the statement, self can't get out of self, because that's exactly what's happening. All of my activities with drugs was basically an attempt to get out of something, yeah, as that something. So when that was cleared up in a sudden little event, it's never been unclear since then. And we just feel I don't hear it enough, so we try to share it. So that maybe, just maybe, uh, instead of you having a different view, there's a different view on you. Yeah. Because when the eyes of you keep trying new glasses, but they see the same fucking way, you gotta check something out. Yeah, maybe we should look at that you instead of looking from it. And they're trying to do this in this part by calling it the actor. Yeah. So obviously the actor isn't you. Yeah. The role that you play, like Brad Pitt isn't the guy on whatever the movie he's in. He's another character called Brad Pitt usually, and then Brad Pitt plays a character in a movie. So we're playing a character in the movie, but we're also playing a character in a bigger movie called Paul Hedderman. Yes, but it's still a character. So uh, I'm just going to go over this. This is the meat of the how it works, all this stuff. So where were we on 60? Yeah, 60. The first requirement. So you would think the first requirement would be not stop drinking. Yes. You would. Is most people, if they had a cursory idea of AA, they would say, well, obviously the first requirement of AA is to stop drinking. Yeah. But it isn't really. The first requirement is that we be convinced that any life run on self-will can hardly be a success. That's the requirement. Yeah. Of course, it's necessary to stop drinking to start recovery, but the requirement, uh, it says all you need is a desire to stop. Yeah. A desire or a willingness isn't a requirement, I don't think. Yeah, you're not required much. You just have to have a little interest, and maybe perhaps there's a better way. So here, the first requirement is that we be convinced. Now, there's a lot of definitions for that word. The one that stuck with me was to believe with certainty. Yeah. So to be convinced of something, you believe with certainty. And in some of these things, when we're convinced of, we're certain about it the rest of our life. Yeah. It's not like it has the convincing has to be renewed every 3 months or every year. Some of these things you're convinced, and that's that. Yes. Like I am convinced of the pertinent ideas above this paragraph, which is that I am alcoholic and could not manage my own life, that probably no human power could have relieved this alcoholism, and that a higher power could and would if he were sought. Yeah. I'm completely convinced of all those. And then being convinced, we were at step three, which is that we decided to turn our will and our life over to God as we understood him. Just what do we mean by that? And just what do we do? I mean, they're really, people may not like the language they use, but it's a very, very straightforward manual. They're just going over, and here's the biggest meat of the matter. They're going the how and why of it. And it says really the first requirement is that we be convinced that any life run on self-will can hardly be a success. Doesn't say alcoholic life or an addict life. It says any life. So they humbly believed this parasite has a stranglehold on people, be it an alcoholic or a drug addict. Just regular people are being saddled with this condition of self, yes, the obsession with self. So the first requirement is that we be convinced that any life run on self-will can hardly be a success. I start with yours, and then you could go to any. Yeah. But on that basis, on what basis? On self-will. That's the basis. On that basis, we are almost always in collision with something or somebody. Yeah. What basis? Self-will. Yeah. So will is let's say a quality that can be owned or driven by something before it. Yeah. So we have, they call it God's will or self's will. So the idea, let's say the higher power is driving the will or self is driving the will. Those are the options in AA. Yeah. And so we have been driven by self, and we should be at a point where we are convinced that it's a failed system, which would open us up to the possibility of doing a real living third step, eh? And which is just deciding I'm going to make a decision to turn this will and life over to the care of something greater than self. I mean, it's very straightforward, yes? So your life, in their view, is in the hands of something already, yes? And we're just going to make a decision that we would rather have it in something else's hands. But we're in a state of it already being turned over to self. Yeah. And self is jealous, and it's not gonna turn it over to anything else. So we don't have the power to make that happen. So we make a decision that we would like to make that happen. Yeah. And then we do the working steps. So On this basis, we are almost always in collision with something or somebody, even though our motives are good. What? Most people try to live by self-propulsion. Each person is like an actor who wants to run the whole show, is forever trying to arrange the lights, the ballet. So in this case, I think they're making a clear distinction between the person and the actor, yeah? So in this case, we're hopefully hearing this reading from the person, and the reading is about the actor, yeah? The dilemma is the person that's hearing this reading about the actor can also be the actor at the same time, which is the self can't get out of self quandary. Yes. So if the actor is reading a description of the actor, that's just more actor. So we're hopefully having a sense of the person as being different than the actor. So we're hopefully having the person sit down and then they describe the actor with the hopes that you see it as the actor and not you. Don't you see the point, really? Don't you see that could have been their intention, knowing it or not? That they're trying to describe something to the person about what they're not, which is called the actor. Yeah. So that the person could see a difference between when the actor is described and then your head immediately takes it to be a description of you. You may have a pause there. And then you see it's a description of the actor and you get a sense of being the person. Yes? You get a feeling of being different than what they're describing. Hallelujah. Yeah. It's like the beginning of the door opening. I humbly feel this is a cancer in our community. I was at a meeting like yesterday, and someone who I have a lot of respect for, very, very old timer, again pronounced that he is his own problem. Yes. And he did all this shit and he did all that stuff. And it's sort of like it's like having an umbilical cord on somebody. Yeah. Still umbilical cord connect to you being the doer of all that shit you did while in the past while you were under the influence. When is there going to be freedom from that? Yes. I mean, it's at your moment of death. I mean, I'd rather have it now to recognize something. Yes, that the head wants to drag the past with you, with it as the actor into every moment the person is having. Yeah. Yes. So each person is like an actor. Okay, simple. This is like spiritual kindergarten, literally, spiritual kindergarten, as it says in the book. Okay, Billy, here it goes. Billy, you are the person. And Billy, this is the actor. Billy, sit down and we're going to describe the actor to you. See that you're not the actor. Yes, it's very clear presentation. Then here it goes. Each person is like an actor who wants to run the whole show. Okay, what would that be? Managing, yes? Managing and controlling. Okay. Is forever, forever, is forever, is forever. Yeah. When the actor is dominating, it is forever. It's incredible use. It says the whole show is forever trying to arrange the lights, the ballet, the scenery, and the rest of the players in his own way. In other words, it doesn't stop trying to manage and control. Even when it's being good, even everything, there's an underlying drive of managing and control. Faced with a dilemma or powerlessness, which is insane, you know? Yeah. So the scenery and the rest of the play is in his own way. This is forever happening, in the head. That's what they're saying anyway. If his arrangements, and this is the requirement, or his justification is if his arrangements would only stay put, and it's not because of him, but because of others, it doesn't stay put. If only people would do as he wished, the show would be great. Yes? So he says, if, but, if only. But again, the actor runs into a dilemma of powerlessness. It doesn't have the power to direct others to do what it wants. Yeah. And it's forever trying to do that. If only people would do as he wished, the show would be great. Yeah. So if the show's not great, it's because people aren't doing what it wishes. Yes? Obviously, that's the logic. So no accountability, just it's on others. Okay. Everybody, including himself, would be pleased. Life would be wonderful. In trying to make these arrangements, our actor may sometimes be quite virtuous. He may be kind, considerate, patient, generous, even modest and self-sacrificing. On the other hand, he may be mean, egotistical, selfish, and dishonest, but as with most humans, he is more likely to have varied traits. Yeah. So in this case, what the end always justifies whatever means. Yeah. So if it thinks it's going to be work better with a little bit of, honey, it will do that. If it doesn't work, vindictiveness and shit like that comes up. Yeah. But it's forever trying to get what it wants the way it wants it, being kind or being vindictive. It's the underlying agenda is that. Yeah. All this is describing the actor. Yes. Not once has it described you. It has not described you once. It has made you the person, and it's describing the actor to us. Yeah. So life would be wonderful. And trying to make these arrangements, our actor, blah, blah, blah. What usually happens, yeah. And here comes like the story that we have. What usually happens, the show doesn't come off very well. He begins to think life doesn't treat him right. He decides to exert himself more. He is not you. He is it, out the actor. Yes? Yeah. He becomes on the next occasion still more demanding or gracious, as the case may be. Still, the play does not suit him, admitting he may be somewhat at fault. He is sure that other people are more to blame. That's the basis. That's just yeah. uh Somebody's trying to come in. Let me give a whack it. Let's release Cassandra to come in here. Uh what is his basic, oh, it does suit him, admitting he may be that he is sure that other people are more to blame. He becomes angry, indignant, and self-pitying. What is his basic trouble? What is his basic trouble? Is he not really a self-seeker, even when trying to be kind? Incredible revelation, really. Because I thought I was not self when I was kind, and I was self when I was bad. Yeah. But in sense, the actor is playing the role of the good and or the bad. Yeah. What is his basic trouble? Is he not really a self-seeker even when trying to be kind? Is he such a victim of is he not a victim of the delusion that he can wrest satisfaction and happiness out of this world if he only manages well? Yeah, this is up with self can't get out of self. These are apparent aberrations of the system of self-centeredness. It just doesn't get this. This is why it's talking to us about the actor, because the actor doesn't get this. It will just keep on keeping on. Is he not, is it not evident to all the rest of the players that these are the things he wants, and do not his actions make each of them wish to retaliate? It seems like a very competitive event, yes? Snatching all they can get out of the show. Is he not, even in his best moments, a producer of confusion rather than harmony? Actor, 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 actor. Not one mention of you as the person. Yeah. Our actor, as the next paragraph says, right now, they put the cherry on top. Our actor, so it is a shared. There's one actor, let's call it active alcoholism, yes? And the one who's under the actor's spell thinks it's theirs. So there's one actor owned by many. It's insane. Yes, isn't it? One actor owned by many, and therefore owning the many. Yeah. So our actor is self-centered, egocentric, as people like to call it nowadays. Yes. You could even say our actor is self. Yeah. Yeah. And it is self that which is what has defeated us. Yeah. So in a sense, our actor has defeated us. It's not even our actor. The actor has defeated us. Yeah. He, actor, is like the retired, I don't like that one, the retired businessman who, uh, I jumped to 62 with the selfishness, self-centeredness that we think is the root of our troubles. Yes. Then you hear another person say that they're the root of the troubles. So the book goes in different ways. Yeah. Right here, this is disclaiming you as the root of your problems. It's claiming selfishness, self-centeredness is the root of the trouble. Yeah. Then it says you're the root of the trouble. Driven by 100 forms, driven. Yeah. By 100 forms of fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, and self-pity. We step on the toes of our fellows and they retaliate. Sometimes they hurt us seemingly without provocation, but we invariably find that at some time in the past, we had made decisions based on self, which later placed us in a position to be hurt. This was incredible because this became a living event, this statement. Yeah. When I started, after I got sober and I started to see stuff where, you're in a camp because you try to rob a liquor store and you're underage. And in that camp, these guys ride horses and you're meant to be doing the lawn or something. And one of them starts fucking bothering you all the time. And you're going, what the hell? I'm not doing shit, and you get resentful and stuff like that. But didn't you try to rob a liquor store that led you to be put into this little detention area? Yes, and allowed you to have this guy spit on your head. That was an eye opener because now all this story of my life was put under a different lens. And I saw what I thought was my role, now I see it as the actor's role or self's role. But it was the first step of true accountability. I started to see like what I was bitching about, I had a whole lot more to do with it than I thought. Yeah. Because there was constantly decisions based on self that brought me into these situations that brought me misfortune I didn't feel I deserved. I was just reacting to the immediate misfortune I felt I didn't deserve. I did not see what caused me to be where I was for that reaction to happen. Yeah. And then I started to. And of course, I started thinking it was me. And then I realized that's not me. I'm now recognizing the actor in my life. Yeah. Yes. And then if you want to call it with this example, the person started coming out. Yes. Yes. So sometimes they hurt us seemingly without provocation, but we invariably, meaning you're going to find that at some time in the past, we have made decisions based on self. I wouldn't say we didn't make those decisions. Self made the decisions. Yeah. Self made the decisions based on being the actor, let's say. That's what happened. And then these things put us in these positions to be hurt later on. Yeah. Wow. So basically, it exclaims the life of the actor that we called Paul, yeah, or Heather or Roman or whatever, yeah. And I humbly believe if you can read it this way, there's a lot of relief available, yeah. Because if you believe you're the actor, you don't want to know all the fucking secrets of the actor. You'd rather just be oblivious to it, yeah. But if you're not the actor, it's incredible to get a really good description of it so you can keep recognizing when it appears in your life, you don't greet it as you, you greet it as not you. And when it starts doing its little actor role, you bring that to step 6 and 7. Yeah. And have that energy of the person returned from the actor because the actor isn't going to give it back to the person. But this program will retrieve what we gave into the actor that we're never getting back from it, and it gets it back and it gives it to us in this life. Yeah, this life of recovery. So 6 and 7 is really taking what was seemingly lost and then having it found again. Yes. Yeah. Because the actor obviously isn't going to give it to you willingly. And it doesn't respect you at all as the person. It doesn't. But it does respect higher power. It does. The little dog that's masquerading as the big dog will stop that when the big dog arrives. In this case, the person is not the big dog. Yeah. The person is not the big dog. We need to ask the big dog to come into it, and that's the higher power. This is the dilemma. Yes. We've been sucked dry by the actor, and the actor just actually has more juice than we do, literally. Yeah. We make vows, we make what a New Year resolution. All this shit doesn't hold up usually because there's no power behind it. The actor has sucked all the power out of us. Yes. Yeah. So I like to see it this way because it's the best description that catches what happened when I saw I wasn't self. Yeah. I feel like it's the best description I can give, I can share with you. Just a simple, healthy suspicion can lead to a real revelation. Yeah. And I think in the drama of recovery, we take responsibility, but we end up in a state of accountability, I feel. Yes, over time. It's just so obvious that the same thing that all these people did was really coming from the actor, not the person. Yeah, humbly. So, yeah, Time may not produce this effect. I think if you can hear it, then you can entertain it. And if you entertain it, I think you're going to find it to be true. Yes. But the actor keeps a lot of possibilities away from the person. A whole lot. Yes. Yeah. So it's protecting its own position. Yeah. So, yep. All right. I'm always stoked about the news. Yeah. Yeah. Because as they describe the actor can be virtuous and kind. The bondage of self can look like jewelry. Yes. It's not always iron clanging, really holding. It can be a certain like bling type of bondage. Yeah. Yes. Yes. It says any life run on it is hardly going to be a success. So yeah, in the new year, it's the same message. Time doesn't necessarily change anything, really. Truly. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone, Mike? No? That's great.
Yeah, there are no hands, but if anybody has any questions or would like to come in and share, please raise your hand. Gary Clark.
Oh, Gary, good. Cannot hear you yet.
Hi. I
There you
just
go.
got that unmute going. Hi, Paul.
Hey,
Happy New Year.
yes.
I wanted to talk about something that happened just last night. Just as I was going to turn off the light, I had this moment of just clarity. See, the backstory is over Christmas, I said some things to the family that were, my wife said, wow, that was really good. And I even felt like, oh, I had a message to deliver. And I purposely went over there and said some things about family was important. You're in the hands of a loving God. And then later, talking about that with a group of people, like with one person said, oh, you were really bold in saying that. And it didn't quite feel right. So last night, just as I was turning off the light, there was this experience of, and the words came, it wasn't personal. It's like and it felt like, relief, momentary at least, momentary relief of the burden of self. Oh, thank God. That I don't want to be the owner of this message. It's too heavy. And the clarity was, it was a principle being expressed, and I was temporarily the conduit of it, and it was so, it was a moment out of time, and it was so beautiful. And yet, of course, then there's this attempt to, now I need to get back to that moment, and I lost it and all that stuff. But still, that moment kind of just lives in another place and impresses me with a lot of good information. Like, it wasn't me. I didn't do that thing. Thank God. What a relief. I didn't want the ownership of that message. It kind of just, it came through. And actually, it's better that way. And I can listen to that message just the way anybody else could. And it's sort of like blew me away to hear these things. I'm in the hands of a loving God. those words hung with me for a while. Oh, that's really cool. That's a cool way to live. And but not being not owning the message, that wasn't cool. You know, the claws of the self get in there and say, okay, now I have to live up to this. And I remembered you have similar stories how you had to purify yourself if this was going to come through you. But it's like, and thank you for that, because that was short lived. It isn't anything about me really. And I just wanted to share that because it's really representative of what you're talking about. I had a lot of the elements of all that. It's like, yeah, there's that clarity, and then there's that desire to own it, and that's not the truth. The message is the truth, and I can sit back and admire that just like anybody else. Wow, that's really true. Family is important.
Yeah.
We're in the hands of a loving God. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. Very good description, Gary. Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
thank you. I've just thank you for all that you're doing, because that kind of helped make that even clearer.
Yes. 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 That's right. No, you did. That's great. And also, the message always gets out before the reaction, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just driving around on Christmas Eve night, and it's like I had this vagrant thought, like, I have a message to deliver to this group of people. And it's like, then all these thoughts, oh, who the hell are you to have a message? Why should you have and all these like, oh, what the hell? Maybe I do. Maybe there is. I don't know. Let's stop by there and see what happens.
Yeah, great. There you go.
And we did it. But I like that. I don't know how to say this. It wasn't me.
Yes.
It wasn't me. I was being propelled by something else.
Yes, great.
Oh.
Great. Fantastic. Yes, that's it's way more frequent than we imagine.
Yeah. Hallelujah. It's like, and then and then all the briars grow up, and it's like the claiming goes on, and then
Well,
I have to like, well, how do I get out of that claiming? And you don't, because it's not you. And
yeah. Well, see again.
well, I don't want this to happen. Well, yeah, you don't. But, this is the way it happens, and it's great that we're meeting here like this, because then we can see how common our responses are and how they don't really mean anything.
Great, yes.
That claiming.
Exactly.
So anyway.
Oh, you're on there.
Thanks.
Yeah. Oh, that's great, really. I wanted to state that thing again. Where was it? Oh, I'm going to read this thing. Each person is like an actor who wants to run the whole show, is forever trying. Yes? But these downloads are in no time, which is beating the forever of the head. Yes? Yes. So the message, that download is always beating the message of the head. The head is forever doing that in time, but the message is not of time, so to speak. Yeah. Yeah. So it comes through, and then in time, there's a reaction to it. But the first lightning bolt is not the reaction, it's the message. Yes. We're just getting to a point where we're living more emphasizing that lightning bolt than the reaction to the lightning bolt. Yes? That's all. That's what the program does. It shifts the emphasis of our life from, let's say, things to space, so to speak. Yeah. Yeah. So that's great, bro. Very nice. Thank you for the share. We all thank you for it. Very good. Yeah. Like when we're at a talk here and someone has a question, after the first 5 seconds, we're talking about principle. We're not really talking. And so sometimes we go off like for 15 minutes and the person is still sitting there as the questioner and we have forgot all about him or her. Yes, yeah, yeah, because it's not about him or her. Yeah, there's an underlying fact we're attempting to trigger to allow it to have an influence in this place that seemingly is true or not. Yes, bringing in a fact into the seemingly true or not. Yeah, yeah. And that fact doesn't do that well when it comes in after, but when it's seen to be before, starts having a huge influence. Yes. Yeah. So great share. Anyone else? Oh, we got Heather, our magician in residence. Yes.
Much for everything. I just had a little sort of sharing kind of just stuff. Um, I just so appreciate you helping us tweeze out this paradox, of being. Because here we are inside the mummification of the actor through the perception, getting the message. Um, and I want to say I really appreciated what we said last week about, because I asked about, well, if I'm not the clinched, triggered one, and I'm not the sitting as the universe, I'm neither. That where's grace? Where's that which keeps us sober? And you said it's the wind of grace that flows in between everything, and that I could say maybe I am if I dare to, if I want to. But in any case, that wind of grace has been lifting me up through that. And it's funny. So I guess I'm speaking of the paradox of, like, I'm gonna make a comment now, and of course it's false because I'm talking through a mechanical thing. But the comment I want to make was that my actor, in a way, really appreciates this work because it feels like the satisfying takedown of the false self. On YouTube, there's the videos that say satisfying takedown of this person. I don't even know who the person is, so I don't. Why would I want a satisfying takedown of someone I don't? What is that? They're trying to trigger, right? But
Mm.
when I hear you talk, if you have been ridden your whole life by this relentless whipcracker blazing on a saddle, riding you, to destruction, there's a satisfying takedown at moments when your message comes through, and it's like relief. I'm home and dry, and I just want to say that, it's the paradox. I'm writing both because none of that's me, but it's happening, and you kind of do your seed assignment. There's a fairy card called the undressing of a salad. And that's, I feel like, what you're doing. It's like, it's easy to dress a salad, but undressing a salad's really hard. And I'd say that's kind of what you're doing. You're undressing a salad. So that's it. I just want to, just speak to the multi layers here and the satisfying takedowns of something that's had far, it had its day, and it raged all it wanted, and now I'm getting home and dry from the message.
Oh, great. Yes, yes. Well, see, a lot of times we speak, but that it's infected with the system that's trying to protect itself. So we become its representative. And it's almost like in a larger scale in life, a lot of people vote against their own interests in a lot of ways. Yeah. They're just their own interests are put aside and something wants to do something. Yes. And then of course, going against your own interest, then that's idea has to keep being validated. Yeah. But it's as if the person has very little say and the actor is running the show, obviously. Yes. And one of the dilemmas is the person thinks when it hears the actor that it's the person talking. Yeah. It wouldn't give it wouldn't give that much of the time of the day to the actor if it saw it was an actor. But because it believes it's you talking, we keep listening. Yes. Despite a lot of evidence. So this has an ability to break that bond because you'll see the actor is not you. And you'll see how insane some of its suggestions are to the person. Yeah. Because you'll finally be listening it not from the actor point of view, but from a person's point of view. And you'll see the actor is fucking insane quite a lot. Yeah. Wants to be right, and you end up alone. It's not a good, yeah. So this is a distinction that the head loves to cover over. So you want to keep exposing it because it's a huge distinction between the person and the actor in this example. I wouldn't use that as an example, but we're using the big book. Yeah. So at least you can see you're not the actor. That's an incredible step. Yeah. And that the actor is going over its lines in your head. It's reading a script, literally. Yeah. And it's really the same old, same old. You can see it's what's his name, Henry Winkler, even though he's in a different movie than the Fonz. It sounds like Henry Winkler. Yes. So it's I mean, I feel it's keenly important to recognize the foreign nature of what has defeated you, because one of the ways it has defeated you is as you. That's really what has allowed a lot of the defeat to continue. It's that it's you. Yeah. And if you take that advantage away from it, you can see the tiger is a paper tiger a whole lot more. Yes. Or the emperor has no clothes a whole lot more. And there'll be a loss of interest, which is its deadly fear is you as the person losing interest in the actor. It's unbelievably scared of that. Yeah, it is because it has nothing without you. Yeah. There can be a person without the actor, but there is no actor without the person. None. Yeah. But there can be a person without the actor. So the emphasis of power is so disproportionate, yeah, that it has us believing we need it. Yeah, but we don't. We would do much better as a person than as this actor because we're just re-going over the same old, yes? The actor has only so many lines. It's stuck like Henry Winkler as the Fonz. It's in a romantic comedy, but it's the Fonz. It's in a spiritual movie, it's the Fonz. It can't break the the continuity of the script. It's just rehashing, re-going over. Yes. There's no new lines for the Fonz. You've heard them all. You heard them all. You've heard every possible fucking line already that the actor has. The spell is because we think we're the actor. When that's broken, the actor ain't that good. Yes, it really isn't. Yeah. So, yeah, thank you. I love these little distinction things because I really, if I had a hammer, I'd love to drive a wedge through it. Yes, really, because how the loss of interest started really happening is when I I saw self wasn't me. It just immediately, I didn't have to pull the interest off it or, vow to keep the interest away from it. It just migrated and it started to enrich my day and made me, in a sense, content and satisfied that I had no desire to change how I was feeling constantly. Yeah, I felt all right. And usually it was because I didn't feel all right that I was driving constantly to do something to change how I felt. Yes. Yeah. So if you start at content and satisfied, you're not going to go where you go when you start at irritable, restless, and discontent. You're going to go in a whole different trajectory. Yeah. So, all right. Thanks, thank you.
Annette has a hand up.
Hey, oh, Annette.
Annette. Yeah.
Hi, Paul. Hey,
Hey.
everybody. Thanks for being here today. Appreciate it. It's good to be here. A couple things. One was when I was listening to Gary there, it says, I've been seemingly since last night, I was sort of like on this rabbit hole, believe it or not, after I get off the meeting. Like I just had it in my, or whatever, this idea came up to find the Zen bitch slap scriptures since they had been lost. And
Yes.
it was kind of fun. I actually got on Spotify because you could like read the transcript, and then so anyway,
Good.
it's
Send it to me.
interesting.
I need it.
Um, it's harder to find than you think, and I'm like, God, it's like he was always having this out, and now where is it? And yeah. Anyway, so that was a little project, and it was fun. And then it was like 2:00 in the morning. But whatever. I've been off for a few days, so I've just been on a different, and it feels very natural. This whatever, different, whatever. But that's maybe who knows. I don't know. I'm not
Yeah, don't
the
go.
judge.
You got
Yeah,
yeah.
the judge. Yeah. So,
It's fine.
but one thing. So last night, one of the things that stuck out, and God, I even heard you like this sticking out like a sore thumb. Like in those times, I feel like I guess the world is so quiet that I can hear better, or things are just more open. Maybe, possibly. I don't know. I'm just maybe pontificating there. Who knows? But and that's not why I raised my hand. But that was just part of it. I don't even know why I said that because I was listening to Gary, right? And then, yeah, because last night the reality I heard you say on this last one that I was listening to, and it really like something was dawning what to do with like this reality, the reality of this dream that's happening, and it ties in with what we're doing here. Trust me, it all does in this head anyway. And like just wanting to escape this interpretation of this reality here, like forever since I can remember, and in so many ways, shapes, and forms. Like I hear you on that, and I feel like that's why I resonate so much in a lot of ways. And then the real reality, and like the irony of like how my sense of that real reality for so long was like sort of in a way like just like so intolerant of people, places, things, and whatever, the ultimate director, right? If they would just do it this way, it would be fucking in harmony, and so much to say about that, no matter what, even in rooms, I have to go to this room, I have to change sponsors, I have to do this way, I have to do the steps this way. Oh, they got this format, they got this book, whatever, but this has been the most applicable way to deal with that. It has been the 12 steps in so many ways, shapes, and forms of other things that I've tried prior to that. So Gary, what I heard like that I resonate with that, where things just come through, you don't even know where it came from and whatever, and you're just like even like surprised about it, and it's beautiful, and then it goes or whatever. But like, okay, so what you were saying there about how the message came first and then the reality here, how it came through. So like the message from the true reality and then comes into this reality and expresses somehow or not. And then, and so how about like the expression of the actor, that reality that comes in this place, like what I know I shouldn't be trying to figure out, but it's what this head does apparently. It's just, yeah, maybe I should do service. Just thinking too much.
You gave yourself your own answer, honey. Yes.
I have to go back to work. God damn it. That's the thing. It's like dealing in this reality of this place and that, and it's that like it's sometimes it feels like it's polarized so much sometimes, and it's like not wanting to be, and that's forever the MO of the head of like, I can't participate in this place because people just don't get it. And it's just like, it's so hard to just watch like the fumbling and the fucking stupidity. I'm sorry. Like the, I know that's very negative, and I know, yeah, I know. I just don't want to go back to work.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to get up at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the truth.
I think maybe you should wash your pillow cases. Yeah. That will be good. Simple things. Give it chores, yeah. Yeah, something simple. Keep it busy. Yeah. Yeah. I love you in that. You're a trip. You're like, yeah, it's great. I'm happy you're with us. And thank you. Yes? Yeah. All right. Anyone else? We had a lot of people come in at the last minute. Did we have any time change or something?
No.
No? All right.
There were some bombers. And
Oh, bombers. I think I let them in. Sorry.
no. I had removed my.
Oh, all right. Well, all right. We have someone else up there.
Yeah. Alexandria Nicholas.
All right. Yes. No, I think he may have been a bogus one. Yeah. Andreas is a bogus one.
He's a bogus. Okay.
Forget him. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, listen, let's start saying goodbye. I think the Zoomers, they don't even know when the meeting starts. It's funny. So sort of weird. That must be funny when a Zoomer shows up too late. I mean, whatever it's called, a bomber. Yeah.
Bomb. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. You did a good job, lad. Well, let's say goodbye, everyone. I was wondering why they were trying to come in at the last second. Vlad, great job. Thank you. Lovely
you.
day to see everybody. I love that we get to be used in a power using us to express itself in our group conscience. That's very cool. It's a cool role to play. Talking about having a role to play, that ain't a bad one. So we got Mr. Butler in Novato. Yeah. I hope you don't live on Wilmac Avenue, because then you're really close to me. Chris B, nice to see you, as always. Gary Clark, thank you, Gary. Yes, very nice description. Paula, Tom, nice to see Tom. Roman Mueller, yes, there's the radiator. Yeah. Annette, fantastic. Peter in Tucson, Joseph, France, Eileen in Tucson, Walter in the Netherlands, Clay in Florida. Nice to see Clay. John in UK, Saraswati. I think she's in Carolina, one of them. North. Yeah. Andy S. Hey, nice to see Andy. I always lose his information. I guess it's the way to go. John H. Nice to see you, John. Chandra K. Is this your first time here, Chandra? No? Well, welcome. Denise H. Nice to see you. Miss
Yeah.
Volkman.
Paul, I just got a message from Sandra. I guess she couldn't unmute. It is her first time here.
Oh,
So
well,
welcome.
welcome. Welcome, Chandra. Yes. Michael Stacy, Robert Crossman. Well, yes, it's a nice way to start the day if you're starting your day. And we'll be around if you're new, and there's 5 meetings a week. 2 of them are on the topic is recovery, and then the other 3 are on non-duality. If there isn't going to be a meeting, there usually is an announcement on the event page. And if we have anything going on, there will be an announcement there. All are welcome. Zoom bombers will hopefully be stopped at the door. But if they show a desire to stop bombing, we'll let them in. And Steve in San Diego, Peter Shantz, I'm seeing more people. Miss Volkman, the furnace isn't as hot as it usually is. Nice to see you, Miss Volkman. Amelia is here in spirit and body in the kitchen. Hey, thank you, everyone. Samuel entered the waiting room. If you're a bomber, you're too late, Samuel. But it's okay. Try again next time.
Yeah, they're all bombers probably. Yeah, they.
Okay. Well, bye-bye, bombers. Bye-bye. Yes. Remember, the bomber is only an actor. Yeah. All right. See you. Bye-bye. Oh,
Thank
John,
you, Paul.
everyone. Yeah.